Swansky. Number 13, Carissa Ness. Number 28, Emmanuel Pierce. Number 36, Alex Newton. Number 98, Maddie Schwartz. Number 8, Matthew Page. Number 31, Catherine Hearn. Number 15, Hillary Renzel. Number 99, El Jamal. Number 25, Oren Finnan. Number 20, Lou Galvez. Number 23, Nathan Wilson. Number 3, Icy Doria. And number 19, Sarah Hearn. And now for Goomba Gang. Number 31, Jasper Liu.
Let's go!
Number 25, Esther O. Number 9, Serena Tam.
Let's go!
Number 1, Brian Ewan. Number 0, Michael Wang. Number 21, Nicholas Lynn. Number 10, Joanna Lowe. Number 7, Victor Chang. Number 16, Nicholas Yen. Number 96, Ryan Hoy. Number 26, Joshua Lim. Number 37, Paige Muir. Number 22, Ingrid Lee. Number 69, Jordan Bow. Number 17, Danny Wang. Number 4, Cindy Lee. Number 12, Connor McFadden. Number 15, Akaya Blair. Number 88, Patrick Nabidi. Number 13, Carmen Leon. Number 27, Victoria Lamb. And number 14, Cole Pepper. And our observers for today's game are Linda Kudo, Alan Bagish, Naomi Garneau, and Colin Kuntz.
Hello and welcome to the 2018 Canadian Ultimate Championship gold medal game. We're here in Surrey, BC. We've got a great final on our hands for you today. Goomba Gang coming out of Vancouver, BC will take on Pretty Boys, Handsome Girls out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. This one is sure to be a good one for you today. It's Becky Thompson here with Lucas Main. And Lucas, tell me what you think we're going to see.
I think we're going to see a quick, fast running game. Both teams quite young here, lots of good legs. We've already seen PBHG on the streams a couple of times. Their main handlers, Benoon, Thompson, and what's the last one there? Conrad being their main handlers. And then we haven't had a chance to see the Goomba Gang here. I was actually just talking to the photographer. He hadn't had a chance to have a look at the Goomba Gang yet. But yeah, being one of the many BC teams in this tournament, they have a fast lineup, a quick and powerful lineup. They have some notable names like Cole Keffer, who actually just played with GOAT at the World Ultimate Club Championships in Cincinnati. They've got Connor McFadden, and a few of their ladies are strong on the UBC line as well. So UBC, always a strong women's program in the USA youth as well. So look for both teams to be striking hard and fast in this game.
Yeah, and I did speak to Conrad before the game as well. He let me know they picked up a bit of an injury in the quarterfinals and that he wasn't able to play much in the semis. So feeling it a bit today. We'll see how much we see him out there in this one. Goomba Gang coming in seeded second overall in this tournament. Pretty Boys, Handsome Girls seeded fourth, but never having made the top 8 before, never made semifinals, and they're here looking for a gold medal. So Goomba Gang, the horn going. They will start us off on offense down in the white jerseys. PBHG in the dark, set to pull here to get us underway. Paget with the pull. Gold medal game. O will receive the disc to Chang. Chang looks right away for a streaking Cole Keffer. Cole Keffer bidding, sliding off that one, but can't quite get there.
And just showing exactly what we talked about a few minutes ago about that speed. Cole Keffer going off to the races right away. A fast run, but that throw from Chang just out of reach.
Yeah, I like that shot out into space in front of him, as now PBHG a first chance to break right at the start of this game, looking for a reset. The layout D chance, and now it's moving upfield with Delorme. Renee Delorme resets to Yozenko. Another layout D attempt, but this one in the hands of Kerr. Reset to Yozenko. Some poach D in the lanes there from Chang, as Yozenko has to shoot that one up into space, and it comes down here with Goomba as low in the middle of the field now. Annie Wang, swinging that one around to Lin. Lin will look back to Keffer, finding himself open in the middle here. Keffer back around to Lin, and a foul called on the mark.
Yeah, and the receiver there from Goomba Gang, number 21, Nick Lin, throwing his hands up, asking Kerr, what are you thinking? But it was all accidental.
That one gets hung out into space in front of Keffer. Does well to get that one around the defender there. Medwick trying to get a hand to that one, and Goomba Gang get a hold, leading 1-0 here in this championship game.
And both teams doing a good job. PBHG just with a missed throw there over the top of the receiver, and Lin able to grab it and turn this back the other way. But both teams showing the speed and quick movement that we were talking about. I think we're going to have a very fast game here. If we do get to a marathon point, that'll be definitely a bit of grit will be required to win them out.
Yeah, we'll see how this one progresses here. This Goomba Gang team, another team from Vancouver who formed mostly in part due to the fact that the championships would be taking place here in Surrey, so not far from home for them. They're a group of friends. Only 4 people on this team did not play for UBC. That program coming in with a lot of top players here, and we talked about the chemistry that teams like Beer Kitty had in the bronze medal game, and I'm sure we're seeing the same thing here today. The likes of Cole Keffer, of course, not a UBC Ultimate player, but a UBC rugby player, so we'll count him as one of the UBC players on that one.
Yeah, Kefra also playing for, or at least playing on the practice roster for Team Canada Rugby as well. So a strong athlete all around.
So that's a hold there for Goomba Gang, and we get to see the offensive unit here for PBHG looking to generate something as Beardsell gets open under. Beardsell looks to reset to Benoon. Benoon has Delorme under. Delorme looking upfield, needs an option, only has Beardsell, who does well to come through the pressured defense. Navidi trying to get to that one as it's swung back now. Now Lim on the sideline. Lim puts it up into space, a huge layout grab from Ham. That one reeled in 2 yards from the end zone. Schwartz up line, Ham finds her. Just like that, PBHG a clean hold in response.
I want to pay attention a little bit to a matchup we've got developing already here between Patrick Mavidi and Beardsell. Sam Beardsell coming out with a couple of good cuts to start that point off. And I do believe Beardsell has the advantage in speed, both of them being about equal height, but we'll be looking for that matchup coming in the further points here. But a great job by Pretty Boys and Handsome Girls to hold on and make it look not as easy as they'd like to see, but definitely a tough point. Both teams fighting very hard here in the gold medal match.
Yeah, Mavidi there putting on a lot of pressure, like you said, Lucas, and we know Goomba Gang will be looking to run a lot of that. I think looking at a lot of tight person-to-person defense likely in this game. They've got a lot of good matchups on this field. So a chance now, Pretty Boys, Handsome Girls will go back the other way, see if they can generate another turn attempt here.
And with a quick break here, I'll let you guys know. For you guys following along, again, we're going to do the same thing. We want you to pick a fan player of the game. So you're going to have to tweet at us using the hashtag CUCsurrey and let us know who your vote is or your nomination for the player of the game.
That pole is going to sail up and float down just outside of the field. So it'll be brought in just around the brick mark here for Victor Chang, who will bring this into play for Goomba Gang. Chang in play. Finds an under in Lin. Lin goes back to Chang. Kerr attempting the layout D, reeled in here by Chang. And now upfield, Wang in possession. Wang running out of options, shoots towards the back of the end zone, but finds a receiver. A late stall count throw there from Annie Wang, and they find their way back into the goal here.
So that's Ryan Hoy collecting the disc for the Goomba Gang in the end zone there. A high stall count release, probably 8 or 9 there where the disc went up, floating it, hoping that somebody could get under it, and luckily Hoy, making himself available, grabs the disc and reels it in.
So 2 holds here for Goomba Gang. Efficient offense, clearly, but some better defense there from PBHG as well, taking away the options. Hoy did really well to recognize the late stall count and cut to the back of the end zone there for Wang. Definitely seen more tight D. Josh Kerr there trying to get the run through D on Chang. The layout attempt before that.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen any zone matchups yet. Both teams waiting to see. I don't think these guys have met yet this tournament, so they don't know anything about each other. So coming out with a match defense first to feel each other out and see what they can develop, and then maybe later on we might see a couple of zone looks. There's not too much wind. It's a gentle breeze coming left to right. So not too much to work with there. Over the tops will be easy to complete.
This pull back into play, sitting around the middle of the field again. Thompson collects to Benoon. Person set with a little bit of poaches on the handlers here as Beardsell has it on the far side. He will shoot deep. That one falls short, and Jada Lim does a good job to read it. Coming back under to collect that one. Lim centers back to Beardsell. Beardsell looking for an option, goes to the end zone looking for Lim, but it floats too high, and Small comes down with the D. Mike Huang reels that one, looking deep, but that one's going to sail too long there.
Yeah, number 69, Jordan Zhao, trying to hustle that one down, but falling out of the air sooner than he can get there. And as I said, there is a call on the play, probably on the throw.
That disc sailing back to Beardsell on the mark there, Huang.
So Alan Baggage, the observer on your screen, you can see right now, just helping the players confer and confirm what the call is going to be.
Mike Huang back with the disc here. Looking for an option, doesn't find it. Has to air out a big inside-out backhand. It's going to sail back into the field. Multiple people in the space, but Josh Ham comes down with that one for PBHG. Now Thompson in the middle. Thompson looking for an option here, has Beardsell under. Beardsell finds Benoon. Still tight defense here from Goomba Gang as it goes back to the middle now. Now a high release backhand. Beardsell in possession again. Beardsell all over the field already at the start of this game as he looks to reset and finds Ness on this near sideline. Ness shooting into space, leading throw to Oren Benoon, and PBHG able to get the goal.
And a great job by Ness there to throw that well into space for Benoon to run onto. Difficult here with both teams playing, like I said, very close person-to-person defense, keeping themselves nice and tight. This floaty disc that came up to this side on the high stall count. Jordan Zhao from the Goomba Gang trying to get his hand on it, but unable to. A big pileup, but luckily nobody hurt, and everybody comes out of that one unscathed.
And I think the defender there for Goomba Gang on Benoon thought Benoon was clearing to the back of the stack at that point as well, kind of stopped his coverage, and Ness did such a great job to recognize that he was in yards of space there, making that cut into the end zone. And PBHG and Goomba Gang so far 2 clean holds apiece. No breaks yet in this game, generating some very good offense here so far.
With that said, there has been opportunities for both teams to come down the field on the break side, but unable to convert completely. So we're going to see the defense now from PBHG potentially coming down, probably still sticking with that person-to-person matchup and make sure trying to force something out of the Goomba Gang here. Goomba Gang setting up with Ryan Hoy, Cole Keffer, and Lim as well. So they've got their main handlers out and main cutters as well.
Wang in the middle now, person-to-person D from PBHG. Looking for the under option in Lin, and it is a little bit low. The bid gets his hand to it, but can't reel it in, and it will give PBHG a first chance to break here in this game. Sawatsky looking for Jamal in the middle. Jamal has Yozenko in the reset. Finds Paget around. Fakes the inside shot. And it looked like there was a pick called in the middle of the stack there. Coming in on stall 4.
Couple of players still having to reset themselves. They just tapped in.
Paget finds Jamal back. Now reset to the middle. Keffer pressure defense on Wilson there. That one goes inside. Sawatsky comes down with it despite the defense. Looking for the reset now with Paget. Paget floating it out to the end zone. Coverage in the space. One PBHG player there. Doesn't come down with it. A call made and quickly retracting the call. Crowd maybe reacting a little bit soon. I've talked about this before. It's not poor to make a call. Okay to make it and then think about it. In this case, Sawatsky taking a second, opting to retract his call. So I think well done there from both teams to have a quick discussion, sort it out. And now Goomba Gang looking for another chance at a hold here with Keffer in the middle. Keffer finds Ryan Hoy. Hoy fakes the big pump flick. Sawatsky bidding on the mark now. And Hoy back in possession here on the near side. That one goes a little bit too far in front of Esther Au, and it'll give PBHG another chance to go for the break. Jamal in the middle. Elf Jamal finds Yozenko. Yozenko shooting this time, but not the throw she intended as it blades down. And Wang gets the disc closer to this sideline, looking for the under option in Au. But that one, again, just shot too far in front, and we're seeing some mistakes now from this Goomba Gang crew here as PBHG really starting to apply the pressure.
Yeah, not as clean as their first 2 offensive points.
Paget centers to Jamal. Jamal looking for an option, has Paget back as the reset. Low on options upfield though, as PBHG being pushed back and now centering to the middle. Jamal again has Yozenko on the far side. Yozenko searching for an option will get Paget back in the middle here. Quick movement now, Sawatsky. Resetting to Jamal. Has Wilson under. PBHG taking their time with this one, not trying to rush it here, but still low on options. The reset comes back up to Jamal. And those cutters all in the same space. Cole Keffer, the layout D, but the second attempt reeled in there by Wilson. Does a good job to keep his eye on that one. Now Paget will go up line looking for Jamal, who reels that in 2 yards from the end zone. Lack of movement there. PBHG thinking maybe there was a call as nothing came out from the stack, and now Paget again. Good switch defense there from Goomba Gang to take away the upline option. Jamal, 5 yards out, looking for Yozenko in the end zone, keeps her feet in bounds, and PBHG have the first break of the game.
And a long, grindy effort from PBHG there. You could see, I think Becky called it right, that everyone thought there was a call on the play, but more like everyone was just out of gas. Nobody able to make an effective cut except Jamal there, who finally finds himself coming out of the stack to get the disc and turn around and dish it up the line. But definitely a long, long point. I was going to say, if there was another change in direction in play, I feel like Goomba Gang would have called a timeout in order to save some legs and get their rest in, but not needed because PBHG here punches in the break, and like Becky said, the first one of the game.
Yeah, PBHG putting on the pressure on each of those turns. Goomba Gang making the same mistake more than one. There was about 3 throws on this near side of the field that just went too far or too low in front of the receiver, unable to make an effort really to get the disc. Nick Lynn had a good one there, but still too far out of his hands, and unfortunate there for Cole Keffer. Makes such a great layout D, full extension to get a hand on the disc, but the second attempt pops up, and Wilson did a good job to keep his eyes on it.
Yeah, he ordered the Blackfish Special and he got it, so a mac to the offender, but Cole Keffer's jersey, white jersey now covered in black because he laid out on his stomach, and the turf has put a mark on him there. But big plays like that is what can earn you the fan player of the game. So we're still looking for nominations from you viewers at home. You can send us a tweet at hashtag CUCsurrey and let us know who you want to be the fan player of the game.
That pull sailing all the way into the back of the end zone, but just skipped out on the turf. So will be walked up to the front here. PBHG up 1 break in this game at 3-2 right now as this disc is tapped in with Huang. Huang.
Oh.
Mike Huang trying to go for the flick after the fake. Beardsell read it well, gets a hand on it, but now a call and a discussion about contact on the throw.
I think he even got his foot and hand there. A little bit of both touches on that disc, but looked clean. We are quite far away from the play. It looks clean from here, but and it's no foul as indicated by Alan Baggish there, indicating everybody to hang tight, not to move just yet.
So it looked like Huang there was saying that when he turned on the fake that he was hindered, but he did then go to throw the disc anyway, so no foul on the actual throw, I believe. Could be wrong on that, but no foul called. The disc just put back to where it went upfield off the turnover, as Josh Kerr will bring this one into play for PBHG. Looking for Medwick in the middle. Pressure from Connor McFadden. Beardsell now on the near sideline. Beardsell putting that one into space, has two receivers, and Medwick comes down with that one. And another break here for PBHG.
The momentum fully swinging onto the Winnipeg's team here. They are getting a lot of, they got stoked up from that foot/hand block that Beardsell was able to complete. PBHG fully riding this tide now on top of the momentum 100%.
And PBHG looking so good on those last 2 points. Beardsell having a tremendous game here right at the start of this one. And PBHG up 2 points now. We're going to see if Goomba Gang can find a way to respond, but not looking so strong on that last point there.
Yeah, a little shaky. I'd like to see Goomba Gang spread the field a little bit. They were trying to rely on it 2 or 3 players too much, and PBHG has figured that out. They've put their best players on them as well. So maybe look to spread the field a bit more here, expose some weaknesses in the defense of the PBHG team. Goomba Gang still not out of it. It's 4-2, but 2 breaks in a row. Like I said, the momentum fully sitting in PBHG's hand now.
So 4-2 early on here. We're about 20 minutes into this game. This game, of course, does go to the 105-minute time cap, and at that point there will be a soft cap where we'll add 2 points to the highest score rather than a hard cap that we've seen through the rest of the week. So lots of time here to go as Matt Paget gets us back underway here. PBHG up 4-2. Esther O will reel this one in on the far sideline, looking straight to the middle for Keffer. Keffer finds Lynn upfield. Lynn has an open Chang going to the end zone. That one hanging up, but too far in front. Another laser huck here from Goomba Gang.
And great recognition there from Brianne Ryazenko, pulling off her check to come and help with the defense. It was unnecessary. The throw was a bit errant, but great awareness by her to see that Victor Chang was all by himself deep.
Yozenko finds Wright on the far sideline. Wright looking for an option, some coverage there, but finds Wilson. Wilson and now Herms. Sarah Herms resets to her sister, Catherine Herms. Paget now back to Herms. Catherine here. Inside shot to Wright. Kirk Wright finds a big under to Jamal, who airs one into space in front of the receiver.
Oh.
Tries to get low to get to that one. I think she thought she had it, trying to bend down to make that grab. A phenomenal throw there from Jamal.
Catherine Herms just on one knee, trying to figure out where the disc was going to end up in her hands, and the whole crowd awed at the same time as I did here.
So Goomba Gang gifted that one back as Lynn has the disc. Lynn has Keffer under. Oh, now in the middle. Oh, looking for an option, has the reset in Keffer. Chang now going deep again, but that flick put here from Cole Keffer is going to sail out in front of the halfway line, giving the disc back to PBHG.
So yeah, coming right back in front of us, in front of the commentator's booth here. Lots of tension. You can feel it in all the players on the sideline. Everybody, you're probably going to hear it come through our mics here in a minute. It's pretty intense. This game is getting really, really intense.
Paget will get this disc into play, tapping it in, looking right away for the end zone. A beautiful around backhand throw into the hands of Sarah Herms, making it look easy. PBHG up 5-2.
So Sarah Herms not making the same mistake as her sister Catherine there, making sure with both hands on the disc, reels that one in. A great throw around from Paget to make tons of room for Herms. No worries there. Obviously going to come down with that one. And yeah, third break in a row, and a timely timeout here. The Goomba Gang taking it.
PBHG looking so pumped up right now. Those throws going perfectly on a dime into the end zone right now. They're putting them into space, leading passes with time to run on and no time for a defender to make a play at the same point. And absolutely incredible to see the momentum. Goomba Gang, of course, a classic timeout that we see in Ultimate. We've seen them string great plays together, just maybe getting a little bit too antsy with some of those huck opportunities in the later part of those last few points.
Yeah, and as I mentioned during the play before it got tapped back in here, it's quite intense on the sideline. Both teams very stoked up, trying to help their team here. Goomba Gang obviously looking to reset their mentality and reset their full ability, because we haven't seen what they can do just yet. The scouting report in them was that they were going to be a fast team, and we've seen that. Just the throws to connect to that fast team haven't been there. So looking to make that adjustment. Goomba Gang taking the time out here at a good point, try and slow this down a little bit and slow the pace of PBHG, who's just been on a tear.
So we'll see how Goomba Gang can respond out of this timeout, needing just to value the disc a little bit more. Just a couple execution errors here on some of those deep shots. They had the open receiver and Victor Chang both times on that last point. One of those shots just going too long, the other out of bounds, so maybe third time will be a charm for them. We'll see if they continue to look for those or if they reel it in for a point and look more to the unders.
PBHG most likely going to stick with their person-to-person defense. It's worked for them thus far. And like Becky said, maybe looking to work a bit more unders and value the disc a bit more from Goomba Gang.
Goomba Gang back on the line on offense here, looking for a quick response out of the timeout. Medwick will pull here for PBHG. That one is going to sail towards the back of the end zone, and unfortunately all the way out the back, hits the fence as well. And you see the team, the players on the field as well, clapping, not a puller. We've seen PBHG do this throughout the course of the week, and kind of, I think, a fun way to poke some fun at their teammates and keep the spirits high as well.
Yeah, as a team in the U.S., I think Ring of Fire, who actually boos their own team, is a similar idea.
Chang now with the disc, and he shoots that one straight into the poach defense of Renee Delorme.
Delorme just being well aware there and sticking her left hand out to make the block.
Medwick looking for an option, finds a reset on this near sideline with Kerr. Kerr goes upfield, but a run through D. Annie Wang saw that all the way. Her receiver there didn't keep attacking the disc. Wang takes advantage, and Goomba Gang looking for a hold here with Cole Keffer on the far sideline, centering back to O. O fakes the around and goes back to Keffer. Keffer fakes the huck. Now finding an under option in Chang. Chang faking the huck this time and goes back under to Keffer.
Hey, Paige, time it.
Keffer resetting to Lynn in the middle. A no contest foul on the mark here as well from Beardsell.
Goomba Gang still relying on those three players, Keffer, Lin, and Huang here, sticking with the disc. Now we finally see an outlet to a different player.
Oh, puts that one under to Muir. Now Keffer again. Goes around, looking for Victor Chang. Josh Kerr gets in front, and looks like immediately a non-contested foul from Kerr, as he had to kind of use his physicality a bit to get around Chang there. So the disc will stay with Victor Chang 2 yards from the end zone. Chang resetting to Keffer in the middle. Airs that out for Chang, who does well to attack that one, and now back. Keffer run through for that. Some help defense, but can't get there. Chang to Keffer in the end zone to get their hold and make it 5-3.
And Goomba Gang finally able to put the brakes on that train there. The PBHG, I believe, if they had scored that, they were off to the races, and this is a different story. But Goomba gang able to compose themselves and make sure that they put one in and stop this run, making it 5-3. PBHG still on offense here, still up 2 breaks, but they do have to hold now. Where this offensive line hasn't had to play in a while, so maybe getting a bit cold here in the wind. It isn't too chilly. I mean, I just posted on Twitter that it is cold commentary, but for us standing still, that's probably different for the players who are out there running around.
Goomba gang working really hard for that point as well, relying on their defense to get the disc, the run through D, and taking advantage of it. That's exactly what you want to see from a team out of a timeout, and the exact kind of play you want to see here in a championship game.
So the three musketeers for PBHG out now. Thompson, Benoon, and Beardsell. We've said their names a few times. Looking at their ladies down there as well. I believe one of the Herm sisters is on, and as the pull comes up here. It's a good pull.
That pull sailing to the back of the end zone as Thompson collects. Now to Ness. Back in their own end zone right now. PBHG looking for an option, finds Lim. Lim low on options, but a call on the mark.
So number 69 for Goomba gang picked there. Jordan Zhao had to catch up to Beardsell.
So back in on stall 5. Lim finds Beardsell. Beardsell airs that one out in front of Benoon, who does well. That one blading into his hands. Now Benoon will air one out in front. Paget, another great leading pass here. PBHG in control still, up 6-3.
And Paget made that possible by a quick lightning bolt cut. He took 2 steps out, had McFadden close on him, pretended like he was going to be coming under, and changed direction to go out once again to make himself wide open. Benoon, great job to just lead him into space there. And before that, even with Medwick throwing it up to Benoon to collect, like Becky said, on a bit of a blade, but nonetheless collected and scored.
I think that one just blading a little bit in the wind. Credit to PBHG not looking too flustered by being stuck all the way back in their end zone. Medwick did opt to go for the blade throw out into space there. Sorry, Thompson, I believe, put up that throw. But despite that, they did a good job of working it patiently on the unders first, getting it around to a few different receivers before they opted for that blade. They waited for an open option rather than panicking in that situation. So credit to PBHG making it happen here in this game.
And Jade Lim with a great couple of slash cuts to open herself out for the outlets there. Like Becky said, not phased by getting the pull right at the back of their own end zone. Lim opening herself up to get an outlet for Thompson. So it is 6-3 now. We are still looking for votes for fan player of the game. So if you have one, we've got a lot of options thus far. We've seen a lot of players coming in hot here.
Big pull here from Medwick. Will sail down towards the end zone, and will center to Lamb. Victoria Lamb with the disc, looking for an option. Has it on the far sideline with Wang. Goes up line. Tight defense here from PBHG. That one just shy of Yozenko's hand as Wang gets it up line. Wang looking for the reset in O. Fakes the around backhand and now looking to Keffer under. Keffer faking the hammer. Goomba gang kind of forced to go up this far sideline right now as they get it back now to Chang in the middle. Chang looking for Keffer. Shoots an inside flick. An unbelievable throw to the layout grab from Cole Keffer. Incredible shot from Victor Chang. Visionary, running out of options, puts that one into space in front of Keffer to make the grab.
That should not have been completed. That was the tightest space, the most touch needed on that throw. Chang making it look super easy, charging down after him. Wright had done a good job for the PBHG team of shutting Keffer out, making sure he couldn't get an easy reset, but there's nothing you can do against a good throw like that.
that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. It was ridiculous. I think everyone in the stands here going to have a little conference on like, well, should we hire Victor Chang to teach us how to throw? That was incredible.
So that kind of play, a great way to build some momentum for this Goomba Gang team. Try to take advantage with a defensive point now here. You can hear Goomba Gang getting amped up on the sidelines.
Trying to work themselves back into this game. Like you can hear, they're looking for that D. They're looking to get a break here.
Pull in play, that one, a big around backhand. Another gorgeous pull here from this Vancouver team as Thompson has it, and now a zone look. A new defensive set here for Goomba Gang as they try to stifle this PBHG offense. Thompson again now trapped on this near sideline, dishes to Beardsell who finds Lim. Lim trying to break the mark and then gets Thompson through the wall. Jarrett Ham now with the disc, finds Thompson again. Thompson, the high release backhand back to Ham. And Thompson again going 1 and 2, trying to generate some momentum upfield here as well. Schwartz finds Beardsell who reels that one in. Now some space here for PBHG as they go across to Paget, forcing the melt call here from Goomba Gang. Beardsell now in possession. Looking for a reset, goes for the inside flick to the end zone. Paget wide open on that cut. Beardsell does well to get it there, and PBHG another hold.
Both teams putting on a throw-it clinic for the fans in the stands here today. Another inside-out flick side throw to the break side, making it look super simple, and Paget with tons of room because, well, sitting on the break side, we're expecting that throw to come out. So PBHG still controlling this, unfazed by the zone defense coming down from the Goomba Gang. Maybe a good time to use that, though. I appreciate that look. You're looking to generate a block. You're looking to generate a turnover and earn yourself a break. Throwing different defense out there, a good way to do that.
So PBHG this time calling the timeout, looking to break out of this one to take half. See what they can do out of it. Goomba Gang opting to just keep their 7 on the field to have a discussion, talk about how they're going to execute this offensive point, get a hold, keep themselves close. Of course, both these teams had tight semifinal games yesterday as well, both of those going to Universe Point. We saw PBHG beat the Bunny Thugs in an all-Prairie showdown on Universe. Goomba Gang taking Beer Kitty down in an all-BC showdown on that one. Also on Universe Point, Beer Kitty managed to win the bronze medal fairly convincingly this morning, 15-8 as well. And now we're in a situation where PBHG leading by 3 points, a chance to break to take half.
And we haven't seen a timeout like this on our streams just yet. One used to gather your thoughts before going to play defense, like Becky said, looking to come out and take half on a break here. So the Goomba Gang will look to not make that happen, not let that happen. PBHG obviously wanting to come down, maybe coming down something different. I don't know. I don't think they will. I think they're going to come down person to person. It's done well for them so far. Looking to shut down the main players on the Goomba Gang. We have Victor Chang, who threw that beautiful inside-out flick in the last offensive point. Cole Keffer back out on the line. And we have the matchup here. We have four ladies, 4 men. 4 ladies, 4 men. 4 ladies, 3 men, as selected by PBHG.
So Goomba Gang out on offense. The pull down here from PBHG. Sailing down into the hands of O, centering to Lamb. The person-to-person D here from Winnipeg as Keffer shoots that to Hoy. Looking for an under option, has Wang open on the far sideline. Wang shooting that one, and a touch from Brianne Yozenko, getting her hand to it for the hand block. Looks like a call or an injury in the middle of the field.
Yeah, it's number 98 here, Maddie Schwartz, who I think collided with her check and just took a bit of a tumble well away from the play. It doesn't affect anything.
So Kerr gets us back into play here. Looking under to Jamal. Jamal finds Yozenko. Yozenko, low on options, goes back to Kerr. Victor Chang bidding but can't get to that one as now Jamal has it on the far side. Has Yozenko open in the middle and going straight for the slash cut across to get that disc back. Now another throw into space, but that one unfortunately sailing out of the corner of the end zone.
Great job by Jamal to get himself open on that slash cut, but maybe a bit too excitement seeing Medwick with a bit of separation on Keffer and throwing that a bit too wide, and it sails out of bounds.
Right decision there from Jamal, just not quite the right shot. Goomba Gang looking to take advantage of this one as Chang has it, and now under to Hoy. Hoy winding up a backhand huck, has Keffer in the space, but Medwick is there as well, and Medwick manages to get up and get a hand to that one.
So Keffer indicating to his thrower, that was my bad, I should have got that one, but I don't think he had a chance with Medwick playing some excellent D there.
That's a great matchup there between Medwick and Keffer as well. Now as Yozenko has it on the far side, has Medwick in the middle. Medwick searching for an option, has Kerr going up, and now the around shot comes to Jamal. Jamal has Yozenko open up line. Yozenko looking for the inside flick shot of her own to the end zone, threading the needle to Maddie Schwartz. Incredible shot, a throwing clinic being put on in this game. Yozenko to the end zone, and it's half here for PBHG, leading 8-4.
I think everybody just decided over there last night at the Saturday party that they're just like, hey, you know what? We're all going to be throwing inside out flicks tomorrow in the finals. This has been incredible. We've seen 3 goals now generated by that inside out flick. That one threaded right through the needle head as Yozenko, great toss there. And yeah, it sends us, PBHG achieves their goal of the timeout of breaking into half here.
And not much Goomba Gang could do about that one. So that will be halftime for us here at the 2018 Canadian Ultimate Championship Gold Medal Game. We are going to take a short break. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the second half here for the 2018 Canadian Ultimate Championship gold medal game. We have a showdown between PBHG, Pretty Boys, Handsome Girls out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, facing off against Goomba Gang from Vancouver, BC, and PBHG taking half 8-4, looking dominant in that first half. And Lucas, what have they done that has made them so dominant and had such a good performance so far?
Building on their previously generated momentum. I think not letting that momentum subside and just riding that tide all the way to the victory thus far. I think Goomba Gang is not, don't count them out of this yet. They've had a couple of great throws. We saw Victor Cheng threading the needle there on that inside-out flick shot. That was incredible to Cole Keffer, and they've had a lot of other plays, but I'm still waiting for them to spread their field a bit. I feel like the PBHG team has figured out who their main players are going to be, and they're starting to shut those guys down and girls down more effectively. So we've had, while we were in the break here, we had a couple of, we checked our Twitter and made sure that we do have a couple of nominations for Fan Player of the Game. So we have one for Cole Keffer, one for Jarrett Ham, and who was the last one here? Zach Hawley. So we have 3 already. We're looking for more, so you can use the hashtag CUCsurrey and let us know who you think it should be.
So PBHG getting to start on offense out of half here as Oren Benoon will walk this one up to the brick mark. Disc back in play, some poach defense in the middle here as Benoon fakes the deep shot and resets instead to Ham. Jarrett Ham puts that around to Beardsell. Beardsell surveying for an option, has a big around shot here to Paget, who goes inside to Lim. And a pick called there as Paget cut right into the path of Keffer.
Everyone just resetting themselves and catching up. It's number 16, Nick Young from Goomba Gang to catch up.
Lim shoots an inside backhand to Beardsell, who fakes the huck as well. And now another pick called. Paget and Keffer in each other's space again. So disc will be in on stall 7. Beardsell looking for an option right away here. Goes inside backhand. Nick Lynn almost getting a hand on that. And now Paget airing it out to the end zone for Jarrett Ham. And PBHG making it look so simple out of halftime. These leading throws that we've seen from this Winnipeg team, absolutely textbook, and they lead now out of half 9-4.
And Beardsell with a little bit of a shaky high release backhand there with a high stall count provided by McFadden. Unable to find anything else besides that high release backhand, but it was sharp enough to be collected, thankfully. But yeah, Becky, you're right. Coming strong into the second half here, having the advantage of starting on offense in the second half with that natural break because they broke to get into halftime. So a natural break coming out of the half here. PBHG well in control of this game. Goomba Gang going to have to find something special to catch up.
Goomba Gang, like you said, they'll look for that right now. Plenty of time left in this game. Of course, it is the 105-minute time cap rather than the 85s we've seen through the rest of this game. And we haven't actually reached the hour mark of this one yet. So lots of really quick points, efficient offenses from both of these sides. And PBHG clearly also able to convert on their defensive chances so far. So tons of time here remaining for Goomba Gang to make a run in this one.
So if you have any questions, comments, heartaches, or concerns, you can tweet at myself and Becky using the handles on your screen right now. But the poll coming up from PBHG, we're going to return to the action.
You can hear the crowd starting to cheer, rally here for Goomba Gang. They want a close game here as Hoy comes under. Hoy has Keffer going deep, the huge around flick. Medwick in the space, but Cole Keffer gets high, elevates, floats for a second, and comes down with that one.
And just with his left hand, I believe he's a right-handed player, but outstretched left hand, Keffer able to reel that one down. Medwick unable this time. He did get a block earlier on Keffer, this time unable to make it happen again. So Goomba Gang, quick strike here. It looked like a split stack play with Hoy coming under to collect the disc, and then a big around throw from him. So Goomba Gang looking solid on offense. Now they're going to have to bring out their defense again and give it another crack.
Yeah, Medwick did well to catch up to that one as it did hang in the air for quite some time off that huck, but Cole Keffer had the read on it the entire time, not phased at all by any kind of defensive pressure on that point. Goomba Gang bringing this back within 4 points and now needing and looking to go on a run.
Taking a minute here to thank all of our sponsors who helped make this event possible. So first of all, we'll start with VC, providing all the clothing for our volunteers and organizing crew here at CUC's in Surrey and in Brampton. So VC, the Vicious Circle Clothing Company, and Strange Fellows providing the beer in the beer tent right now.
So Goomba Gang here still looking for a break in this game as Beardcell has the disc under. Beardcell now winding up a huck, looking for Maddie Schwartz.
Oh.
The layout attempt right at the back of the end zone, just out of her reach.
A great effort from Schwartz to try and reel that one down. Good throw from Beardcell, recognizing Schwartz, miles of space, all by herself deep, but unable to make the connection.
So Goomba Gang, a chance now to go the full 70 yards. A deep option. Connor McFadden there, wide open. That throw leading into space as well for him as now Chris Small gets it back. Paige Muir on the far side. And now a call in the stack.
Goomba Gang knocking on the door here. Their whole sideline fired up, trying to get behind their defensive push here.
And Connor McFadden there doing such a good job to use his speed to get open as now Goomba Gang looks for another option. Those handler cuts so close, and somehow that one gets around the hand of Thompson to Chris Small, who looks for an option, has McFadden back. But there's a call on the throw. Looks like a contested stall down call as these two players will have a discussion about it.
So it was a few throws back. Yeah, a couple of players on the sideline here a bit confused as well when that call actually happened.
So Jada Lim on the mark there saying that she got to the down call. Players resetting to where they were, trying to remember where they were at this point. That throw did continue quite a while upfield there before the call was recognized.
Everyone has to do a bit of a rewind, but the disc gets tapped in. And
so the observer, I think, ruling there that Muir did not get that disc off in time. Give an opportunity back to this offensive line here from PBHG. Paget. Schwartz. Paget now. Finds Beardcell under. Beardcell, the high release backhand to an open Paget. Finds Thompson back. Tight defense still upfield here, but Jada Lim comes back to the reset lanes, cutting all the way from the end zone to get that one. Lim now going with the inside backhand. 2 layout attempts, but off the hands of Schwartz, and it gives the disc back here. Goomba Gang looking for a chance to break. Serena Tam puts that one to Muir. Finds Jasper Liu in the middle. That one kept in possession there with Jordan Zhao. Finds Small back. Small has an open reset but doesn't see it. Instead, goes for the big around backhand, not seeing the reset that was wide open in the middle of the field.
That's unfortunate. Maybe not loud enough, letting the player know that there was a big round available. I know he was close to that sideline with all the crowd on it, so maybe next time the crowd can give him a bit of help, let him know that there's a poach D.
Yeah, definitely his sideline here, letting him know, but not recognizing. And now PBHG looking to go back. Zhao trying to run through on that one, and he will make a call. I think actually a strip call. Zhao thinking he had his hand on that one.
So if this is confirmed, it's a Callahan. But the observer ruling that that was not a call, and the disc is going to stay with PBHG.
Momentum, the disc, the spinning of the disc stopped there by Paget first.
Everybody having to march back. Beardsell and McFadden having to back up a little bit as they had already made a couple of steps after the call.
Paget winding up, looking for Beardsell. Connor McFadden in the space as well, but Beardsell gets there first and calls a timeout on the end zone line.
These are some of the scariest timeouts to take, though. It's a good call because he had nobody upfield of him, the entire team behind him. McFadden unable to get in front of that disc. He held up at the last minute in order to avoid contact and set a mark properly, but Beardsell aware that nobody streaking in the end zone for him, so backs up and sets a timeout here for PBHG.
Yeah, sometimes maybe you want to take one or two stalls to look into the end zone first and then make that timeout call. But like you said, already knew that there really wasn't an option with him, so a good call here, in PBHG on the doorstep of another point.
So Goomba gang still searching for that elusive break and to get themselves into this game, back into this game, sorry. PBHG still controlling play, using all of their players' utilities here. Lim and Schwartz, you saw trying to make a layout grab at the end zone there. Both players doing a great job thus far. We had a couple more nominations for players of the game as well from some fans. So I'll pull those up while we're taking a little break here. So we have Yozenko. I would definitely second that one. She's been unreal this game. Another one, Brianne DeBom Yozenko for player of the game. Threading the needle. Yeah, absolutely. That was an incredible throw from her.
Yeah, Yozenko definitely my pick right now for MVP in this game if it continues the way it's going right now.
And we had a question come from somebody here actually on the contested Callahan. Why did he walk it to the front of the end zone?
That's a very good question. The observer, though, he did check with the observer if he was allowed, so maybe something that we're unsure of at this point, and was able to bring it up off the call. But now here, Beardsell on the doorstep, looking, shoots inside. Paget manages to get that one. Another creative shot here from PBHG, and they take their lead into double digits at 10-5.
So yeah, just a creative 7 cut from Paget there to open himself out, and then yeah, an over-the-top floaty throw over the top of the defender's head and into the hands. So PBHG using that timeout effectively, setting up a play as they wanted and making it happen. They lead by 5 points now. A large mountain or hill to climb for the Goomba gang, who are going to have to work hard here to get this hold and then come back out furious on D. I don't think we can be worried about the time. There's lots of it, so they have plenty of time to make that happen. The thing they do have to worry about, though, is PBHG is 5 points within 5 points of scoring and winning the gold medal here.
Yeah, PBHG not far off their first ever medal. Not even just gold, their first medal at all at a national championship event. We'll see if Goomba Gang can find a way to slow them down here. Like you said, there are 35 minutes still until the soft cap. We've seen very quick points here so far, only just reaching the hour mark in this game right now.
And Max Power actually tweeted at us, Max Power being the Masters Open winners from last week's CUC in Brampton. Showing us a video of our stream here. There was a catch made by the PBHG player with the goodest fan in the background, a little dog wagging its tail and getting excited for PBHG.
So Dis now in possession of Victor Chang, finds Keffer close to this sideline, goes inside to Hoy. Hoy puts that one around to Lamb. Big under to Chang. Goomba Gang looking for some options. Has Esther Au around. Rempel there tried to get a hand on it. Oh, now looking up field. Cole Keffer with the disc. Finds Wang 2 yards from the end zone. Has a reset in Keffer and finds it now in the middle. Chang swung to the far side. Now to the end zone. Chang slipping on that throw and a bidding Victoria Lamb can't get there.
I think if Cheng hadn't slipped or slid on that one there, it was probably a completed pass, but the throw going just too far and sliding out of bounds.
Not the intended throw there from Chang as he slipped on his pivot there as well. The disc still coming up, but now back in play here with PBHG as Lim has it. Jada Lim shooting an inside shot to Catherine Herms. Now Kirk Wright with the disc. Wright is going to air a floaty huck in front of Jamal. And the second attempt, Kerr to the end zone. Jamal coming in with that on the point after the battle for the disc with Keffer. Kerr reeling in the second attempt, and PBHG up 11-5.
We saw Kerr do the same thing yesterday on the stream as well. Being ready for that extra or that second attempt at the disc. Keffer doing a great job of boxing out and preventing the first attacker, El Fatih, there from getting the disc, but making sure on the second attempt, Josh Kerr just wide open and waiting, and Jamal making quick work of Keffer, who was still sitting on the ground from the play before that.
And such a good battle between those two players, Jamal and Keffer as well. Keffer got the body position on the inside, but that disc was just so high and floaty that only able to get fingertips to it. And Josh Kerr coming back down with it on the second effort. PBHG just look like this is their game right now, Lucas.
Yeah, still riding that incredible high they've had, and Kerr and Yozenko and all these names we've mentioned a few times now, making some big plays to lift their team up and make sure they stay in high spirits here in this gold medal game in the mixed finals. So PBHG is going to be looking to pull and rattle off maybe another break and really put this one out of reach for Goomba Gang. Goomba Gang obviously does not want that to happen, so they're going to do everything in their power to make that stop.
That pull from Medwick sailing down towards the end zone, and will sail just out of the back of the end zone again as his team claps for his pulling ability.
Yeah, maybe he shouldn't go to the gym so much. This guy's been throwing them way too far here.
So all the way out the back, so it will be brought up to the brick mark. That disc actually slid under the fence at the back of the end zone, so the observers throwing in a new game disc here. So that one goes to Lynn. Lynn shooting inside. Nick Yun finds Lynn. Yun again putting that around. Big layout attempt from Wilson as Chang keeps it in possession here for Goomba Gang. Yun going to Chang. Chang looking for another visionary shot, instead finds the dish to Lin, who then finds Nick Yun. Back to Lin. Looking for an open option. All kinds of contact in the end zone right now.
Having played against Victor Chen, he's a very quick and he's a very quick and squirrely offender. Keeping up with him is quite difficult. We've seen right there they fell over. There was a bit of a ooh from the crowd earlier as Cheng made an amazing 7-cut as well in front of the disc to get wide open. Yeah, I'm not surprised. There's a bit more contact than we've seen in previous games.
Disc back in with Lin as he fakes the scooper. Has Wang just beside him to the end zone for Angel Lee for the point. Goomba Gang back on the board with 6 now.
Yeah, with their first goal in a little while here, doing a good job of being patient on the end zone line there. Like I already said, Victor Cheng controlling the offense, getting the disc back as much as possible, staying nice and squirrely, but in the end, it's the ladies who get it done for the Goomba Gang, and they score to make it 11-6.
Goomba Gang still looking for their first break of the game here, and if they can generate something on defense, this game is still very much within their reach with so much time left on the clock.
And with that, I'll continue doing our sponsor shout-outs here. I didn't get a chance to mention that Discraft is the provider of all the discs. We saw a new one come in there during that point because the disc had slid underneath the fence in the back of the end zone and probably onto the concrete, putting a little bit of chips into the disc, and we all know how that feels. So Discraft providing all the discs at this weekend's tournament and last weekend in Brampton. As well, the Vancouver Ultimate League, who is helping sponsor this and put this all together. A quick shout out to all the volunteers, you guys sitting in front of me right here, everybody who's helped this weekend. We really appreciate all your help. You guys have done a great job here, making sure this event runs smoothly, getting water for the players, making sure they got food, and keeping everything running smoothly here.
That pull blades down towards the end zone as Thompson centers to Paget. Now over with Beardsell. Beardsell holstering that disc and now goes up line into space there for Matt Paget. Airing that one out, has two receivers. Defensive coverage from Goomba Gang comes down with it. Joanna Lowe getting her hand to that between two blue shirts.
Lowe just putting herself in the perfect position, bodying the two offenders, like Becky said, having two options, but she was eventually one who was in the perfect position to make the block.
Chance for Goomba Gang to get a break here as Keffer comes under. Keffer looking for Josh Lamb. That one flies too high, but this time the second effort reeled in by Goomba Gang, but a travel called there as Jordan Zhao was quickly running for the next pass. I do think that one was within his 3 steps, though.
I would debate it. I mean, he was moving pretty quick, and he had bobbled the disc previously, so the catch off there as well. Yeah, I don't mind that call. Just, is it the right call now? I don't know. And I was wrong on that one. Becky was right. There is no travel there. He was within his 3 steps as indicated by the observer. So I will eat my words. I don't mind that.
Yeah, Zhao just doing a good job to get that disc out of his hands as soon as he had control of it. So the disc will return with Muir here. Unfortunate that it stops the momentum upfield a little bit for Goomba Gang. We'll see if that will affect them too much, though. Disc back in play. Has Tam on the reset and finds her. The lefty handler here looking for an option, and there's a call upfield. A pick called here.
Yazenko putting on a very aggressive mark, not letting any break options become open for the thrower.
Serena Tam shoots that one back around to Paige Muir. Back to Tam on this near sideline. Tam finds Lee under. Yozenko close to a touch on that one. Lee now high release over, but there was a pick call on the undercut from Lee, it looked like, to get back to Lamb.
So Yazenko will take a couple of steps to catch up, and we're seeing a little bit of shift in the offensive strategy from Goomba Gang here. The ladies actually controlling the backfield with the men up in the lanes.
Lee airs out a floaty flick to the end zone. Beardsell, a touch on that one. This time, the second attempt can't be brought down. So close to a break here for Goomba Gang.
And a Goomba Gang trust throw there, hoping that the taller offender could reel that one in, but just not high enough.
Beardsell gets it under. Looks for Thompson, back around. Now under for Newton. Newton finds Yozenko. Yozenko, the inside shot low to Beardsell. Thompson under in yards of space, and now with Lim on the far sideline. Lim airs that one out around to Beardsell in the end zone. Jada Lim with another leading throw into space. PBHG up 12-6 in this championship game.
And I think that makes it double happiness for Beardsell there, getting the block in the end zone. Unfortunately, out of the hands on the second effort for the gang member down there. And Beardsall coming down with a goal here at the end. His name, we said it a lot yesterday, we said it a lot today. He's been an effective cutter for the PBHG team. Goomba Gang not really having an answer for him, trying different people to mark him up. I want to give a quick nod to Josh Lamb, who's played number 26 for Goomba Gang. Earlier he said his mark is very good and very effective. He was playing in the zone defense that Goomba Gang had set up, and this one as well, keeping a close eye. Unfortunately, just not as strong in the air as Beardsall, and Beardsall taking advantage of that.
Pretty boys, handsome girls, 3 points away now. They look to try to extend this lead and close it out here. Goomba Gang looking for another response.
We've got an nomination for Esther Au for the player of the game, so keep those coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Lamb with the disc, Delorme setting the mark as Nick Lynn comes under. Lynn fakes the huck. Finds Yun under, a layout attempt there from right. And this one ruled out of bounds. Nick Young, his first point of contact, lands beyond the line as Josh Kerr will get us back underway, shooting for the end zone, looking for Wright, who reels that in for the score. PBHG 13-6.
And right there doing it both sides with the layout that potentially forced his offender to be out of bounds and caused the turnover, and going straight to the end zone to collect a high flick from his handler as well. So Kerr putting it out and airing it perfectly for them. And PBHG just riding that tide, as I said before, in control of this game. Goomba Gang unable to figure it out thus far. And I don't know if they're going to have enough juice left in the tank to make a comeback happen. Oh, I said the C word. I'm sorry. Sorry, everyone. Sorry.
And I think at this point, I'd love to see the stats on how many of these throws have gone up from these leading positions as well. They're putting these throws into space. The majority of PBHG's goals coming in on those leading passes to the end zone, putting them into space, not leaving any float on them for a defender to make a play on it as well. Really textbook offense from this Winnipeg team.
Yeah, Winnipeg definitely comfortable. We talked about it. More comfortable in the wind throwing than teams from BC. And Goomba Gang still has had a lot of great throws, but Winnipeg just seems to be the ones matching it, and an offside call on the pull.
So the first offside we've seen in this game. The second one would be a yardage penalty.
Matt, Will, Kyle, everyone.
So everyone's reset. It looks like we're going to get the second attempt at the pull here.
Sawatsky to pull. This one onside. That one will float towards the far side of the end zone and trail a little bit back into the middle now as O will move away, let Chang pick it up. Chang has an open under option in Hoy, but opts to go back to O on the far side. Now Wang looking for an option upfield, gets the under in Chang. That one into space, but Sawatsky is also there, not far enough around him, and PBHG make another play on this disc.
And I think you can speak to how PBHG has had better throws in that situation where they've had their round throw. That throw, I think if it was a PBHG player throwing it, would have been completed.
Rempel now in the middle. Finds Catherine Herms, and now that one reeled in despite the blading shot there. Wilson shooting that one, looking for some receivers there. Ness was there, but that always trailing out of bounds.
Yeah, Wilson looking to get in on the inside-out flick action here, unable to make his own completion.
Oh, now shooting back, but a miscommunication there as Wang had started her movement up line, so that one comes out behind her. A chance for PBHG to extend their lead. Sawatsky picks up here. Doesn't have any handlers supporting him back right now. Goes around looking for Catherine Herms, who bobbles that 3-4 times, manages to keep it in her possession. Herms shoots the inside shot to Sawatsky. Now the break, backhand to the end zone, reeled in for the goal. Shannon Clayson gets this one, and it's game point here for PBHG.
Yeah, and that game point actually makes a championship point for PBHG. They're knocking on the door of, as Becky mentioned, their first medal at a Canadian Ultimate Championship, and actually knocking on the door of the gold medal. So if you guys are just tuning in, you turned in at a very important point in the game here with PBHG leading 14-6, and the opportunity to break to win this game here for a big crowd watching this finals in Surrey.
PBHG, a team that has been around since 2015. They've never made the top 8 at CUCs, let alone the top 4, let alone a championship game here. And now we see them at game point, a chance to break, to win this one. Incredible weekend, incredible game that we've seen from this Winnipeg team. Goomba Gang will look to extend this. Still time to go on a run back, but right now, all the momentum, all of this in favor of pretty boys and handsome girls. Paget to pull here. Airs that one out, a floaty pull sailing towards the back of the end zone. Tam in the middle. Tam finds Keffer around. Resetting to Tam now in the middle as Lynn is also open. Lynn now faking off the huck to Keffer as Muir comes under. Keffer milking that one a few yards upfield and then in to Serena Tam for the goal.
So like you said, Goomba Gang wants to make this interesting, keep themselves out there, keep themselves playing, looking for their first break of the game. If they can make that, so it would make this very interesting because it just shows that Goomba Gang, like we said yesterday, went to Universe Point with Beer Kitty, who you saw play earlier in the bronze medal game, and PBHG also going to Universe with the Bunny Thugs. So both these teams evenly matched coming out of the semifinals. PBHG has controlled this game though. Goomba Gang looking to make it seem like they do belong here. They do, don't get me wrong, they had a great semifinals action. They just haven't showed up in this game yet.
It all might just be a little bit too late as PBHG on offense just need a hold to win this gold medal game. Incredible stuff from this Winnipeg team. They have been textbook perfection through the course of this game, barely making any mistakes, playing the game of their lives. So many players on this team really showing up here today. The likes of Brianne Yozenko, Sam Beardsell, Matt Paget, Jada Lim having incredible displays here. This team, so much depth on it as well as Ness will pick up. Finds Maddie Schwartz on the near sideline who goes to Paget. Wide open, Delorme up line. Reset to Benoon. And a pick called in the middle of the field. In play here with Benoon. Benoon hucking to the end zone, but that one a miscommunication with Paget. One of the few mistakes we've seen from this PBHG team, and Huang gets it back underway as Yun comes under. Now that one shooting deep, looking for Connor McFadden, but McFadden can't get there. Thought about the bid, but just slightly too far out of his reach.
He thought about bidding, and then he thought against it. You could see sort of the decision-making process happening in his eyes, but didn't opt for the layout there.
Benoon with the disc. Puts that one floating, but Beardsell comes down with it. Reset to Oren Benoon, and now upfield to Schwartz. And another call. Huang and Paget having a call of pushing off there in the middle of the field.
Huang a little bit taller than Paget, and maybe a little bit, yeah, exactly, a little bit of a push off there, try and generate some space.
Did not have an effect on the play here. So a non-contested foul, but it is in on stall 1 here. So Schwartz will retain possession of this one. Schwartz finds Lim. Lim airing that one to the far side for Beardsell. Beardsell resets now to Matthew Paget. Paget looking for an option. His only one, a late stall count throw, blades off to this near sideline, and somehow Beardsell gets it, and then to the end zone for the goal. PBHG national champions for the first time. They win this one 15-7. Incredible game here for this Winnipeg team. First time national champions.
An incredible finish as well, and maybe not the strongest finish with a high stall count throw coming up to floating to this side of the field. Thankfully, Beardsell moving this way anyway, grabbed the disc, and he's able to put it up the line. PBHG, great job of spreading the field amongst all their players, and you saw that at the end as well. Beardsell being one of their mains, but still hitting their lady in the end zone, and their cheers go up as they win this game 15-7.
PBHG deservedly your champions here at the 2018 Canadian Ultimate Championships here in Surrey, British Columbia. A phenomenal game from this Winnipeg team. I've got to say, for me, my personal MVP of this game has got to be Brianne Yozenko. I don't know how many votes we got for her, Lucas, but absolutely incredible game. Unstoppable with her reset cuts and throws to the end zone today.
Yeah, it looks like we have 2 for Yozenko and 2 for Madeline Schwartz, so we're going to have to pick between the 2 of those players for our player of the game here. But both teams will actually select an MVP from each side, and they will receive an extra little prize at the end here. But I don't. That was an incredible game from PBHG. They definitely showed up here on Sunday afternoon and showed exactly what they can do.
PBHG, a team that has been building for a few years now, never finishing higher, never making the quarterfinals before, and now gold medalists here at the 2018 National Championship. It's been a pleasure being here with you all weekend long in Surrey. That's going to do it for us for 2018 Canadian Ultimate Championship Nationals here in Surrey, BC. For Becky Thompson, Lucas Main here, it's been an incredible time. Thank you so much for tuning in.